Effective cooperation between incumbents and startups is an important factor to successfully leverage emerging technologies and accelerate digital transformation in the industry. One of the forerunners in this field is Klein, Chief Digital Officer at the ERGO Group and Chair of the Board of Management of ERGO Digital Ventures. We are honored to have him on the DIA stage today. He will present ERGO's ecosystem, which is built with startups, aimed at jointly exploiting the potential of emerging technologies in the metaverse and beyond. Please welcome Mr. Klein.
A very warm welcome. It's great to be on stage here. When I joined ERGO 2016, my first stage was in the insurance industry, was here in Amsterdam on the DIA on a panel, and the topic was how to effectively collaborate between corporate and startups. And honestly, I liked the movie, not the presentation of myself, but the movie before. Have you seen the power of innovation? The positive momentum, what it can do? The key question is a bit, how do we achieve to leverage that power of innovation and make that come alive in the hands of our customers? And the challenge is that on the one hand, we have a tremendous number of startups with great ideas, young team, hungry to deliver. On the other hand, we have the corporations who have the customer, the processes, the data that is available. Wouldn't it be great if we could bring these two worlds together and make that come alive? And I will go in my presentation in the next 20 minutes. I would like to show you how we think about it, what we believe is needed to make it happen. And I want to invite you as startup companies to join in together with us and make this innovation come alive. When I look at our current times, we are really in changing times. Change is very, very big. I don't know how you made it to the fair, but when I look at the airport, when I look at the trains, everything crowded. We see a lot of change happening there. We have the pandemic, we have the war, we have inflation, the stock market is down. We are living in a time of great transformation. And on top, technology is evolving in a tremendous speed. Technologies make it to market much, much faster as in the past. And change is always a risk and is always an opportunity. I strongly believe that we have to capture this change as an opportunity, leveraging technologies to solve the problems we have today. And when you reflect, why do we have the challenges in the trains, in the airports, with the taxis? Why do we see challenges? It's basically because we are in a change in our labor law system. We have less and less people doing work. And one of the key solutions at the end of the day is technology to enable us to generate further growth and to develop. And here we need to make that come alive. We as ERGO, we are a pretty young insurance company. We were founded 1853. So we are 169 years old. And as a corporation, we know, we have learned over the time that we have to create somehow stability. But sometimes we tend to forget that we also have to challenge us day by day by day. If we miss a trend in technology, that will basically hurt us. So what is needed from our perspective in order to participate in these fast changing times? We believe, and I believe personally, that three elements are needed and required, and we are working heavily on them. The first one is the mindset of our colleagues. Are you open for change? Do you embrace technology? Or are you afraid of technology? And when you're a startup company, for sure you are open, you are young, you know technology, you know how to drive that. But our colleagues are sometimes in their processes. So we need to open them up for the latest and greatest technology, make them open to do collaboration and drive the change throughout our company. We do that with a lot of communication, and we demystify technologies. And we do that by tapping into an ecosystem of partners and bringing them next to them, working together closely. And that is the second very, very important pillar, that besides changing the mindset of our colleagues in the corporation, that we create an ecosystem of partners, startup companies, scale-up companies, developed companies that help us bringing in technology know-how and the innovation spark, and that we bring that together and let them work in very, very close teams and bringing that up. And the third pillar is the thing about scouting. So we are permanently screening the market for potential collaborations. And I have to admit, we are very picky, but when we pick, we really execute against that. We are committed, we put resources behind that and make that come alive. And the scouting is really an important part of our work within the innovation sphere. And this is the team. Han Bing, who sits here in the first row. Please stand up, Han Bing, because you will be on stage. Pretty soon I will mention that, yeah. And her team are taking care that we have a view of what is going on. We are working together with leading VCs in order to get insights into their pipeline and understand the technology trend before it arises. Because I strongly believe we have to be before the others, not behind. It's not the fast follower, but in innovation, it's the one who is leading who will get the most benefit out of it. And Han Bing and her team are basically driving collaborations. We have currently over 60 collaborations actively running within our company. We have 5 scouts searching for potential startups. We are active in Berlin, we are active in Munich, we are active in Düsseldorf, we are active in Tel Aviv, we are active in San Francisco, and we are currently evaluating whether we are looking into China a bit more. It's currently with the pandemic very, very difficult, but I think we will have a look. And via that screening and seeing what is happening. And out of these 60 collaborations, they are really giving us insights and opportunities to be a front runner in certain elements. I've brought with me a few of these collaborations, so 6 out of more than 60. So, Air Doctor, Han Bing will be on stage. It was 12:30 together with Air Doctor, so you will hear more about that. A great collaboration, where you see where we bring in the customer and the processes, Air Doctor brings in their processes, their technology and know-how, and we create something new, better for the customer, for the startups, and for the corporations. That is always what is required. The second one, Tech 11, will also be on stage this afternoon with Max Lieper and the CEO of Tech 11 explaining how we created a new platform to test new products, also with a startup company. The other two, 07 is a startup we are working with in Greece to provide a telematic solution to the customers there. And here it's clear, do we have to build it ourselves or do we take an existing solution? And when it's true that the technology is getting faster and faster and you have more and more opportunities, we cannot do that alone as a corporation, even if we are 169 years old. We don't have enough power to do that, but leveraging collaboration, learning together is an opportunity to really explore that. And here, we believe we can do a lot. So I will deep dive a bit further now into Parloa and Future of Voice and into Tailspin. Maybe the first one, we as ERGO are really looking what is the next horizon at technology. And in end 2019, beginning of 2020, we started with virtual reality. Way before the hype of the metaverse, we basically said, let's see what is in there for an insurance company And we started, which is pretty obvious, we have a lot of trainings. We are training our sales colleagues on a weekly, on a monthly basis, and they have to get their certificates. And then we said, okay, let's see what we can do. But at that point of time, there was no software available that helped us to create this learning, because it is like you are creating a movie. You have to go through that. You have to have the avatars having real reactions, showing in their face. You have to create the speeches and everything. And at the beginning, when we started, we haven't found any technologies. We found that then with a startup called Tailspin in the US, and we asked them to come over to Europe, to Germany, to help us building that. Which sometimes is a challenge because these avatars are not good in German, so they have to learn that. But at least we got them over, and now we have created the first 60 minutes of training. And here you see the power of VR. It's fully immersive. How do we normally train salespeople? We put them on a stage, others are looking. It feels very, very artificial, not nice. Or you do an e-training, 2D, you sit in front of the screen. Not very effective. With that training, you combine the two worlds. They can basically redo trainings, and this was only possible because we were able to work together with Tailspin. Otherwise, we wouldn't have had a solution to build that. And even from my perspective, stronger collaboration we have with Paloa and Future of Voice. Future of Voice is founded for implementing Alexa skills on the Alexa ecosystem and developing phone bots. And Paloa is a platform for managing dialogues. They are sister companies, the same set of founder. Future of Voice more in the area of consulting, Paloa more in the area of platform. And we started early on in 2018. There were 3 people driving it. We started to collaborate with them, saying we want to be the first insurer on Alexa. And we have built our first skills and learn how that works. And by the way, Future of Voice was named the champion of Alexa, so they got their credit for doing that very early on. And we created on Alexa the first travel insurance that was fully bookable via voice. And the idea was people are driving to the airport and say, oh, I forgot my travel insurance. And then they book it out of their car with voice only. And you know how much we sold? 16. And there you see that at that point in time, we were ahead of the curve. But, and that is the big but, then we pivoted. And we have seen that it's not Alexa where voice might help us. Because the technology is there, it's ready. Huh? But it was the phone bots that we implemented. And we started automating our call centers via phone bots very early on. And right now we have more than 5,000 calls a day. We get more freedom for our call center staff. We have a better reaction time. We can take out peaks. In the pandemic, we were able to take the peaks. There were a lot of questions in Germany regarding masks, and we were able to put in a phone box in 3 days, and they took away the workload from our call center agents. And here the technology really plays off, and we are rolling that out now through our whole footprint and automating our calls. I believe that 30 to 40% of all our calls can be automated. And then our call center agents have the time to really take care of our client needs when they have a bigger problem. And this was how we developed that with the startup company. This wouldn't have been possible when we would have done that all internally. You can always build it yourself, but you are slow, you take the full risk. Here we have jointly developed that. And that's why I'm 100% convinced that in the collaboration between a corporate and a startup, there's a lot of value. But there's one thing that always has to be taken into perspective. It has to be good for the customer, it has to be good for the startup, but it also has to be good for the corporation, for the corporate. Very important. Otherwise, it doesn't work. So what are basically our ground rules when we play that up? And please, from bottom to the top. I strongly believe that we have to have close and respectful collaboration. That goes also with honesty, what can be delivered and what can be delivered. We also had startup companies that promised 110%, and potentially that's okay in VC talks. But when you come to a corporation and you have to deliver and you have only 80 or 70, this will not work. This is a big disappointment. Same thing is that we act on eye level with startups. When we bring you our NDAs and our contracts of a 100-pager, this will not work because you don't have a legal department of the size of ours. That's why we have to figure out that we have a close and respectful collaboration. We bring to the table what is possible and what is not possible, and we streamline and make our processes slim and easy, that we are easy to deal with. And 60 collaborations over the past times have given us a lot of learning, so I think we are ready to do so. Yeah? That's why we can execute on that. The second one, we bring into the collaboration network, brand, know-how, processes, and data. And that is always a challenge when you are a young company. You don't have the customers, you don't have the data. And believe me, the key challenge in developing AI algorithm is not the mathematics behind it. It's the data that you can train your systems. It's the processes, it's the customer, it's the information. And also the brand is of importance. And a strong brand in the area of insurance can help to basically give it a push, yeah? And can be used saying, I'm partnering with this insurance company, they really know what they do, and they are up for that and heavily investing into it. Third one, we strongly believe in quality instead of quantity. For sure, 60 is not a small number, but we handpick and select our partners. And we have quite a rigid process against it. Because we only do that if technology, the demand of our colleagues comes together and the quality is there. And then we rather do one collaboration instead of 10 to figure out who's the best. So we are really in the quality instead of quantity approach. And last but not least, we believe that we have long cooperations and sustainable impact. For sure, we would also do collaborations to learn, but we want to see impact for our customers, for our colleagues. That has to be there from the beginning. Sometimes we have done explorations where we said there's a great technology, let's find the problem for it. Very difficult, very difficult. We have to have a view and we have to develop that together, what's in for the customer and what's in for us, for the startup company and for the corporation. And that has to be clear from the beginning. My experience, when this is not clear, it will fail because it has no impact and it will not be lasting. These are the key things where I believe how we level up the collaboration between startups and scale-ups and tech companies and an insurance corporation like us. When you follow that, this will definitely work. Coming to the end. When we want, and we saying as a group of companies, the insurance companies that are here, the tech companies that are here, if we want to fully exploit the opportunity of innovation, we can only do that together. Because many might fail because data and customer and processes are not there on the tech side. And on the other hand, we cannot explore all the technologies available. Because you know that when you found 1,000 startup companies, you only hear from the one unicorn. There are a lot that fail. People tend to forget that on the way. And by collaborating, we can reduce the failure. We can learn fast and we can really have substantial impact and make that come alive. And we strongly believe we can do that together, not alone. We are very open to do so. Please have a look when Han Bing is on stage with Air Doctor or Max Lieper is on stage with Tech 11. They will go deep into the collaboration. You will see we are very open and we are willing to invest. We look for quality, not for quantity. We have a rigid process, but we are very much looking forward to make us as an ecosystem successful. Thank you very much for your attention.